Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're chiming in from. Come in, let's talk, let's talk. It is what time? What time is it my time? Came back from work and I thought it would be a nice thing for me to jump on here and do a live. It's been a minute. I am wanting to do more lives. So let's talk about this life in Canada, especially work-life balance in the good Canadian. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good day, good day, good day. Let me see who's going to come on. I don't know, what time is it? It is 3 p.m. No, actually 5 minutes to 4 p.m. I came from work. I was doing a day shift today, 7 to 3. Had my lunch and I said, why not come up here and do a live? Where is everybody? Where is everybody? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know where you're joining from. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Today, I just wanted to talk about some things about working in Canada and how, as a new immigrant, I'm not a new immigrant, but I've been here a while, but I do work with a lot of new immigrants. So I just wanted to discuss that today and see how you guys feel about. I don't know where you're coming in from. Can you just drop and tell me where you're coming in from? Hello, hello. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I see you on the chat there. Thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome. Life in Canada. It's winter now, so going to work during the winter is a problem as well. I am coming from US. Awesome. What state? I went to school in the US, but in the country places of the US. So you probably are not from that area. But US is good. US is good. The Canada and US, I think they have a healthy relationship. So we'll take that. Anyway, just wanted to come on. As you know, my videos mostly are about new immigrants and moving to Canada or living in the Western world, whether you're from the US or you're from Africa or whatever part of the world you're from. I like and I enjoy those kinds of conversation where people just share their experiences and what they've learned and the mistakes they have made. We have clearly made a lot of mistakes. Let me speak for myself. I have made a lot of mistakes, but here I am now. So today I came from work and I decided I was going to do a live just to talk about work in general. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for a long time. I worked in the US, went to a US school, graduated with my nursing degree from a US school, and now I work here in Canada. The transition was not that bad. It's pretty much the same thing you would expect with every nursing degree. Now, Canada is is requiring NCLEX, but when I came back like 15 years ago, NCLEX was not a thing. They did have their own CRNA exam, which is Canadian Registered Nurse exam, which was mostly community-based and very different from NCLEX. So I'm glad that now NCLEX is the standard, so that when you're coming from wherever you're coming from, whether you're going to the US or you're coming to Canada, NCLEX is the standard. And it makes things very, very easy, I find, even though most of the Canadian nursing is community-based, very community-based. I work in a very small, not very small, we do have a Canadian Tire, which is an equivalent of a Walmart. So it's not very small, but it's a smaller town outside of Edmonton, which is a big town, and Calgary on the other side. So we are still medium-ish, but considered a bit rural. So my client population that I serve, as far as the long-term care that I work in, they're not very, it's a small long-term care, 30 people. I know in big cities they have much, much bigger long-term care facilities, but this one is a bit smaller and the people are more intimate, the staff are more intimate. It's such a beautiful place to work. I can't remember the last time I worked in such an environment where everybody there's just good energy. You walk in there and the staff are smiling, the patients are smiling, they're not aggressive. Yes, we do have one or two people here and there that do get aggressive, but still, it's such a beautiful place to work. You see, I'm smiling talking about my place of work. That's not something you see that's not something you see often, but it's actually a really good place to work. It's tiring, I must say. I was working day shift today and it was exhausting. My feet hurt, my back hurts, but I know tomorrow I'm working nights, Friday I'm working nights, so that is a bit more chilled, so I should be okay. So I love my job. Been a nurse for 20 years and I love it. I've touched pretty much every angle of it. Like I've been in ICU, I've been in telemetry, I've been in med-surg, I've been in ER, now I'm in long-term care facility. I have the privilege of working with the Indigenous community on reserve. So I have an extensive history of nursing in different settings. It's all the same. We all care. We all advocate for our patients. We all do dressing changes. We all carry out physician's orders. It's all the same, but it's in different population groups, which makes it exciting. And that's the beauty of nursing. The versatility of it is amazing. You can work pretty much any setting that you choose. So that's one thing I love about nursing, that you can actually, you go to home care, you feel like, 2 years down the road, you're like, no, this is not my thing. Or even 6 months down the road, you feel like this is not my thing. You move on to the next thing. So it's good. When I graduated from nursing, I didn't think it was such a big deal. But now that I'm older and in this profession and the way jobs are getting eliminated left, right, and centers, being a nurse is actually a flex. I'm just going to let that out there. It's actually a flex, because if you want a job, you can get it. It might not be the job that you want, but you'll get something to pay your bills. Beat me in rock, paper, and scissors and you win $10. How would I know? Because I can't see your hands. Yeah? So if you're in this profession, if you're in the profession of nursing or healthcare, I feel like you're in a good place. AI is coming to us, but it's not coming to us like soon. I feel like we still have a bit more physical input that clients would need that AI might not be able to change or turn a patient. Maybe they will. Eventually we'll have the beds that will flip you back and forth, I guess. But I think it's going to be rock, paper, scissors. How would you even do that? I don't even know. Who would be counting and who would be letting it down? I don't know. So hey, what are you talking about? I'm talking about nursing, life in Canada. Life in Canada and working in Canada. Because somebody asked that question, is like, how is work-life balance in Canada? Somebody asked that question and I thought, instead of writing or doing a whole video about it, let me go ahead. I live in Ottawa. Awesome. I lived in Ottawa for 2 years. One of the best cities I've lived in. I love it. Ottawa is good. So we were just talking about life in general in nursing. I did not work in Ottawa. I did not work as a nurse in Ontario, even though I was licensed in that province first. We had to move before I could take a job. So that did that. But it's beautiful. Ottawa is beautiful. If you get a chance, go visit. I am in Alberta now. and we are dealing with the cold and snow. Not too bad, but we are here. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Yep. Oh, good. Yeah. Alberta is not as, I mean, Ontario is not as cold as Alberta. Right now, we are getting slammed with snow like crazy, but there takes, you got to give some and take some. So the environment is good. I like the people I work with. I like my life here. So I can deal with the snow. I don't have to be out all the time. So I can handle being inside until April, end of April. That's when I know it's going to be nice and warm. So, oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. I know, but I have seen some things go on my feed on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. AI is coming, or maybe AI is here. We are doing, I'll take that back. There's AI in nursing. Like now, we don't have to carry our phones and take pictures or cameras and take pictures. We do have a system where we can just zoom and the thing will take the picture for you and download it in your chart. So we do have AI, but I was talking about the physical touch of a patient. Like if I want to auscultate a patient, or if I wanted to do a dressing change, you would need a nurse to be there to do that. But otherwise, the systems, we've been systemized for a long time. Yeah, definitely. It will help for sure. It will help. It's making our job so much easier. And let me say this, because now we don't have to do the heavy lifting of the more technical stuff, of the more IT stuff. Maybe we'll need less nurses because you don't have to do as much, but we'll still need enough nurses, because at the end of the day, you want a certain number of clients or a certain number of patients under one nurse. You cannot have like 15 clients under one nurse. That's not going to work. So it will not replace, but it will make life a bit easier and a bit more streamlined, because there's so many pieces that sometimes get missed. OT is doing this, PT is doing this, pharmacy is doing this. Like those systems, I think they will get very, very systematized to the point where one click will give you everything you need. We are there. We're almost there now. Like you would not believe. Like you would not believe. Doctors are running away from this place. I don't know if they're just running away, or they are not coming, or they are not graduating and staying in Canada. I don't know what's going on. But we do have a lot of internationally trained doctors. Like the place I work, we have like 6 doctors that are all internationally trained. They are not Canadians, studied and raised in Canada, but they're all internationally. So this place is actually has more docs, but also these doctors, because we are in a rural space, they do have clinics in outskirts of the city, like maybe 40 kilometers away. There's a small town there with a clinic. They do have that. They take care of those clients as well. Yeah, that has been going on for a long time. I remember even 3 years ago, I worked at a clinic where we would do home visits, and nurse practitioners were actually the ones that were doing most of the work, because we do have a lot of Canadian trained nurse practitioners, and it's a profession that's gaining the respect of physicians, because initially it was such a, like the doctors were not understanding the scope of a nurse practitioner, which is similar to a doctor. There's definitely some things that you can do, but we had to fight so hard for nurse practitioners to be independent practitioners, which means they can provide care and they can run clinics and they can do stuff that doctors could do necessarily without the supervision of a doctor. We were trying to do that because we don't have enough physicians to supervise the many NPs that are coming out of school. So now I see a lot of clinics, like I know there's one clinic at the University of Alberta Hospital in Edmonton, cirrhosis clinic. It's run and led by a nurse practitioner, which is so awesome. And a lot of the Indigenous communities around as well, their primary provider is usually a nurse practitioner. Some of them do have GPs, but for the most part, a nurse practitioner does provide those services, which is amazing. because now that takes care of the shortage. Yeah, that takes care of the lack of doctors. And they're readily available, they're willing to work, they're very flexible, they're well trained, and they also come from that perspective of nursing where they understand the nursing scope of it. And when they're ordering whatever they're ordering, they know, can this be carried out or can this not be carried out? Because there's some things you get and you're like, yeah. But I like that. I enjoy working with nurse practitioner. I know nurse practitioners, it depends on where you work. I know in the hospital, there's these things that nurse practitioners cannot do. They cannot do surgery. I don't think so. They cannot do, there's a scope of practice that they cannot do and only physicians can do. So yes, there is a difference, but in the community-based nursing, or in the community-based hospitals, very little. They go like this. But also there's some things a nurse practitioner can do, but they'll require a physician to help. It's just the years of schooling. The docs have been in school for like 12 years, almost like 8 to 12 years. And then nurse practitioners, maybe after graduating 4 years bachelor's, then you go back for 2 years and maybe do your certificate for 1 year. So maybe an extra 3 years. So for 7. So that, and also the experience. Because as nurse practitioners, I think there are places or parts that you cannot work in the hospital. If I'm not, don't quote me on this, I'll have to go back on my nursing website and see. But I know they're very similar. Like where I work, which is a community hospital, we have a lot of colds and flu symptoms and moms checking pregnancies for moms, postpartum, prepartum, all that stuff. Nurse practitioners can do. They order tests, they check. I do work with one specific nurse practitioner who is really, really good. She's actually from Egypt. She was a physician in Egypt. So coming here, she's bringing in her physician expertise together with now, because I don't know why she didn't want to go for the licensing, but she knows the doctor-ness, and now she's decided to do nurse practitioner. And you can tell she's a physician. Like the way she does her things, you can tell she's a physician. Yeah. I do. I actually do. I enjoyed a lot, and I like the flexibility of it. The fact that I can work like this morning, I worked 7 to 3, and now I'm home the whole of this afternoon. And then tomorrow I'm going to work nights. I don't work nights often, but I'm going to work nights tomorrow and Saturday night. So I have the whole day to myself. I am not young, so time is actually more important to me now when I can be home and I can enjoy my time freedom is more meaningful to me now. But in the younger days, maybe I would have thrown myself into something else and pushed myself into this, that, and the other. I don't know why I didn't do that. Maybe I wasn't ambitious enough. But I do enjoy nursing, and I enjoy what I'm doing now. I'm doing community nursing, which is very chilled, and I like it. No kidding, eh? No kidding. Yeah. No kidding. Yeah, but just do, I moved on my own. Wonderful. Congratulations. That's a step. But just get control of your finances, get control of your career, start, if you have a 9 to 5, if you have a job, start contributing to your retirement. Let me tell you, it sneaks up on you faster than you can blink. I started my nursing career in my 20s. I struggled to believe that I've actually been a nurse for 20 years. It was just the other day I was walking down this stage on my graduation day, and here I am 20 years later, until I see my 25-year-old son, and I'm like, okay, I'm up there. I'm up there in age. So, and because of responsibilities you have, it becomes very difficult sometimes for you to manage your money or to manage your time well. So this is the time, if you moved on your own, you're still single in the sense that you don't have kids, you don't have too many responsibilities, get on it. Yeah, we all go through that. Your 20s, it's like another midlife crisis, but it's not midlife crisis like the 20s crisis. It's the same exact thing like the people who get it in our 50s, that same similar crisis, but in your 20s. So you just have to keep your head down and get a goal, one goal, and decide you're going to work on that. For me, if I was 20 today, I would get a job, make sure I'm saving for retirement, and make sure I'm putting a little bit aside for what do you call it? Investment. Get my finances in order so that when I'm 30 or 40, I'm not trying to chase the dollar. I'm not trying to chase the dollar. I'm just trying to focus on what I need to focus. If you're in your 20s, late 20s and 30s, you get somebody and you decide to get married and have children, you will have time with your kids because you already have secured your finances. But if your finances is not secured, that's when you are very short with your children. Like you don't, because you have survival mode. You're trying to provide for these people, and at the same time, you're trying to provide for yourself. We all do. In our 20s, we all do. But you know what's funny now? You know what's beautiful now? There's so much on the internet. And I know it can be confusing. Find somebody on YouTube or find something on the internet that is talking about money management. I use Dave Ramsey. I don't know if you know that guy. It's like 7 baby steps. I use that, and then I did it. I got myself out of debt, and then life happened again, and I got myself back in debt. But Dave Ramsey, But the only thing, he's a good one. He's very strict, and you have to be very, very conscious of what you're doing. So he's very strict. He tells you, pay your debt. Once your debt is cleared, 1,000, you have your 1,000 in the bank. That's the most important thing I would tell you. Find a number. It doesn't have to be 1,000. Find a number that you can work with and put that away for savings. I have children. 1,000 is not going to do much for me. So my number is 3,000. I have to have at least $3,000 in the bank for emergencies. Because if my son were to get sick and then my washer and dryer broke or my stove broke, that's already more than 1,000. So I cannot do that. I have to get more. So find a number. And for some people, it's $500. For some people, it's $300. If you're by yourself and you don't have that many expenses, find a number, save that number, and then put it away. Save that money and put it away, and don't touch it unless there's an emergency. And when it's an emergency, it's like you have tried everything else and it has refused to work, or you don't have anywhere else where you can get money. Then you can use that. So find that number, $500, $1,000, put it aside, and then start paying your debt. Once you're done with your debt, start saving up for retirement. And then if you don't have a house, you can start saving up for a house as well. Try not to buy a house with no money down. No money down. Don't do that. Or even in Canada, when they say don't 5% down, we came to realize that when you buy a house 5% down, it takes a very long time for you to gain equity in the home. The start of debt spirals. So this is really insightful, and purely because I cannot manage my funds properly and I work for a decent wage. Find a way to manage your finances and stop calling yourself bad with money. You're not bad with money. You just don't have the insight. You just don't have let's say you have not given yourself permission to be good with money. Let me put it that way. You have not given yourself permission to be good with money. When you tell yourself, I can do this, I can balance this budget, I can live below my means or within my means. You start saying that and claiming it, your subconscious will work with you to make sure that you do that. But if you say you're bad with money, money will be flying off your hands just because you've already subconsciously told yourself, I can manage this. You give yourself that permission to do whatever you want to do with your money. But if you say you can, get your check, have a budget, this is how much I make, this is how much I spend per month, and be very specific and very detailed with the numbers. Be true to yourself, face it. It doesn't matter how bad you've been. This can be a new beginning. Start, this is what I make, this is what goes out. And you plan that before the check hits the bank so that your money knows where to go than you wondering where the money went. I learned that the hard way. Let me tell you, I'm advising you like I'm talking to my 20-year-old self, because that I did not do. And I used to, it was bad. But here you can change. You can change. For you can change because you're still very young. Get your money, and the fact that you're earning a decent wage, you have already established that. Please don't let that go to waste, because it will fly through your hands faster than you can blink. Money just has wings. It has wings. It just goes. Yeah. So find a budget or get a budget, ins, outs. This is what's coming in. This is what's going out, and then make a habit of doing that before your check. If you're getting paid on the 15th, make sure everything that needs to be deducted or anything that needs to be paid before the 15th is already, after the 15th, you already know what it is, so that you can go in there and put your, either pay it or you direct deposit or you direct, what do you call it? Automatic pay. Automatic pay is better, especially for your rent. If you have retirement funds or investment funds, or if you have anything that you have that can be put automatically to be taken out of your bank account, do that. It's easier that way. It makes life so much smoother, so that the money that's left there, this is the money that I need to do this or do that. And you will find yourself getting better and better every day. It takes time. It takes time. And you'll do it maybe 1 month, then you'll fail the other month, then you'll keep going back on the saddle. Keep going, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And eventually it will stick. It will stick. Yeah. You're young in your 20s. So investments doesn't have to be an exorbitant amount of money. If you make a decent wage and you can sacrifice $100 a month or even $50 a month, but make it consistent. Open, like you said, if you're in Canada, open one of those TSFAs or RRSPs. I would suggest RRSP, because if you take money out of RRSP before retirement, you get charged. People say TSFA. Yeah, TSFA is good. The only problem with TSFA, I haven't been good with TSFA. Sorry. I haven't been very good with TSFA because I know I can take that money anytime with no tax penalties. So I've been taking money out of it very easily than I would do with my RRSP. So when I put RRSP, I know that's there until I'm 65. I would suggest that for you. And you can do that between now and the age of 30. You decide you're going to put $100 every month. And after the age of 30, you don't have to put any more dollars. And the money will keep growing. The money will keep growing. Talk to your bank about it. And they can take that money directly from your checking account. Once your check hits the bank account, they take that $100 every month or every 2 weeks, however you want to do it, whether it's $20, $100. I'm saying 100 because I want you to win. I want you to be a millionaire by the time you're 65. So I'm putting that number over here. And I'm telling you, you might feel it on the first month when you put that 100 away. But when you're 65 and you don't have to worry about your medication, who's going to pay for your nursing home, and you can just forget even 55, even 45, even you can take vacation knowing that your wealth is growing. That's what I want for you. That's why I'm putting that number a bit higher. And you can contribute that for like 10 years and then you let it go. And then you let it be. So it's just going to sit there and compound and compound and compound. So I would prefer an RRSP as opposed to TSFA. TSFA is good if you're truly not going to remove any money from it. Because sometimes I used to put money in TSFA and I would put, then something happens, I have $2,000 there, I'll go take it out because I know there are no penalties. So I have not been good with TSFA, even though it's a really good investment vehicle. Alternatively, you can use the money that you put in TSFA, you can invest it in stocks or, hey, Angela, get friends, some friends, I say, get some friends or a job. Get some friends or a job. What does that mean? Fried chicken yesterday. What does that mean? Other financial obligations. I have no other financial obligations, and that's why I'm kind of going crazy. I might just take half of it. You don't want to do that and then live on and then start living like you're poor. Then you start feeling, why am I working so hard and I can't even afford a movie ticket? Like that. I don't want you to get that feeling. But I'm saying, but I also understand that sacrifice. If somebody was giving me this information when I was in my 20s, that's exactly what I would do. I would put half of my check in there if I don't have responsibilities, knowing that I'm doing that for 10 years. And after that, I'm good to go. By the time I hit 30, I'm done saving for retirement and it's just going to compound. You will be amazed at how much money you will have by the age of 55 or 65. You will be amazed. So if you're willing to do that sacrifice, if you're willing to sacrifice that, go for it. I would say go for it. You can use your bank. You can use like regular brokerage, like Wealthsimple is one of them. Questrade is one of them, and you can open it for yourself. Like you can, it's something you can do on the computers. You don't need like a specialist to do that with you. It's something you can do for yourself. Just Google Wealthsimple or Questrade, and then you want to say you want a self-directed account. They do have TSFA in there, and they do have RRSPs in there. If you're going to do that, I would suggest going with TSFA. If you're going to do the Wealthsimple or the brokerages, I would suggest you do that. But if you're going with your bank, I would suggest an RRSP, so you don't have to touch it. Because when you go to the bank and you see that money, you're like, maybe I can use it for this, that vacation. My friend invited me for their wedding in the Bahamas. I don't have money, but I have money in my TSFA. I can go take it. Then you take the money. But if you have it on RRSP, the penalty they will charge you for taking $10 out, you will be like, no, it's okay. That wedding can stay. I don't want it. Yeah, that's why. So that's a discipline I would instill in myself. Mm-hmm. They say inflation has happened even in years past, and they say at least you'll get an 8 to 10% compound interest, which is actually a lot of money. Like somebody was calculating here, I don't know, I wish I can remember the name of that person. With and without inflation, this is something that have been recorded for 30 plus years in the past, and it's been the same. Even with the whatever's going on, the war that's going on, the Epstein that's going on, whatever the nonsense is going on in the world, I still think the markets are going to do the same exact thing they've done 10, 15 years back. So I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Exactly. Can you imagine? And then it's compounding and compounding and compounding and compounding. That's good money. And you're only in your 20s. If you get that discipline right, by the time you get commitments and you get children and you get, sis, you'll be sitting pretty. You'll be sitting real pretty. And I'm telling you, like, mom advising, my son is 25. So it's like I'm advising my child. That's exactly what I tell my son all the time. I was like, money needs to go to that retirement account. I don't care. You have these trips going on. You're going here. You're going. It's okay. But $100 has to be sacrificed for your future, because your future is knocking faster than you can blink. It comes by very fast. So I'm glad you're thinking in those lines, and I'm glad you have acknowledging where you're not, things that you're not good at. And that's just the first step of changing anything, is acknowledging there's a problem. So if you know there's a problem in the money management side, you say, you know what, that's the end of that. Now I'm going to be good with money. Now I am good with money, and I'm going to make this happen. And watch, now that you're talking about this and your mind is actually dialing towards this, watch your feed and see how much information you'll start to get about investments. But what I would suggest is find one that you feel resonates with you and follow that one or maybe two people to just kind of compare. But if you start going in this sea of YouTube and sea of Facebook, everybody talking about financial freedom, you kind of get swallowed into that rabbit hole, and you're just like, now what do I do? What do I do? But the basics are, get yourself on a budget, know how much money you make and how much is going out. That's number one. And then decide on how much you're going to be saving. Open an RRSP and a TSFA. If you're going to open a brokerage account, put the put $100 in the TSFA and let it start compounding, buying stocks, whatever. I don't know if you can do it by yourself, where it's self-directed, where you go in there and you pick the stocks you want to buy. If that's too much work for you, do it with a bank. And the bank will just tell you, they have like medium risk, low risk, and minimum risk. Minimum risk for people in our 50s, where we just want to buy bonds and let them sit there and enjoy. People in the 20s, they will want high risk, where they're selling you more of this volatile SP 500 companies that are moving up and down. But you can make a lot of money with those. So you can go with a high risk, and the financial planner in the bank will help you with that. For as long as you just go there and say, I'm here and this is what I want to do. And then you just keep doing that. That's what we do even for my kids' education. You just, $200 goes every month, $200 goes every month. And they do whatever they do in the back end, which means they decide which stocks they're going to buy for you, depending on your risk level, depending on the child's risk level, and when they're going to need that money for when they're going to school. My younger ones are teenagers, so when they get to that place where they're going to school. So Well, simple you can. Yeah, I have experience with higher risk assets. There you go. There you go. If you can do crypto, you can do anything, girl. If you can do crypto, you can do anything. I do not mess with crypto. I do not mess with the things that are volatile. I don't do that. But if you experience with crypto, then you're good. You're good, in a good space. Wonderful. So you do know more about money than you're giving yourself credit for. You know more about money, and just apply what you know. Apply a day at a time. Application. Just you're good. Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary because that's your life investment, and then you're going to put in crypto, and then with one snap of a finger you've lost all your money, because all the stories that come up, it's how much people lost, not how much people gained. So I think that's one. And the older you get, the more safe you want to play. So when something is so volatile, like crypto today, you'll be down 10,000, and then in 2 weeks you'll be up like 100,000. I'm just exaggerating. That's too big of a move. Like, if that was my heart rate, it would be going to. So we don't like that. We want something that's just going, take me slowly. Yeah, don't rush me. But again, when you're younger, your adrenaline is really going, so that you can handle. Yeah, it's just too scary. Excuse me. Yeah, that's the main reason why. It's volatile. It moves fast, way too fast. Yeah. But money is good. When you're financially free and financially safe, they actually say 80% of your problems will be eliminated by money, or can be eliminated by money. I personally recommend taking a look at Bitcoin and investing a small amount. So you are losing a smaller amount on a bigger move. Yeah, Bitcoin. I know somebody who does Bitcoin too, and I don't know how he's doing. Last year he wasn't very happy with what was happening, but I think I haven't spoken to him in a while. But I think, yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah, I know a little bit about that. But then again, if you're losing a little bit, how much are you making though? Because at the end of it, they say don't invest more than you can. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. So how much is that? Oh, really? No way. Now you're getting me interested. Let me down, and then I will take a pic. I'll take a look. Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Okay. I wrote myself a note. Even 60 is still crazy. 60 is still crazy. Because I feel a lot of stocks are now at their all-time high. Some of them are breaking the all-time high, but a lot of them are at their all-time high. And I'm feeling like there's something that's about to break and bust, and everything is going to come to the floor. So I'm waiting for everything to come down so that I can buy and then ride it. But I'm been tempted to buy some, even though they're still high, all-time high. I'm not invested too high on stocks. I'm probably like 10, 20K, but it's not. I watch it closely because I'm interested in that kind of stuff, and it's mostly for my children because I want them to win with money. I keep telling them if you can figure money out, if you can figure how money works, there's a very little that can actually trip you. The market is currently consolidating around 60. Oh, really? I can see that. That's a big number, though. 65 to 70K. Isn't that like I'm not too conversant with it, but you seem like you understand it more. Isn't that too much? Well, that's just the average. Yeah, I'd like to know more about that. Yeah. 60% Bitcoin. Okay, I'll take a peek. I'll take a peek and see. I was looking at stocks. Oops, sorry. No. Wow. Okay. That's a 52-week high? 126K. Okay. So we still got a lot of room. A lot of room. Hmm. Okay. Is that recent? Like the concept, is that recent? Is that because of the whatever's going on in the world? Yeah, I do know markets do fluctuate based upon what's happening. If they continue to fight or they continue to do whatever they're doing, are we seeing it go much lower or is it going to start going up? I wonder what's the all-time low for Bitcoin? Maybe that should tell us if we are very. Oh, okay. Yeah. And now you see that's the hyperventilation I'm in my ripe age of 50. I cannot afford to do. I cannot afford to to do that number. It gets very tricky. Yeah. Yeah. But I can see how somebody can actually win a lot and win really, really big with this type of asset, but also you can be shedding tears. Yeah, I know. You can do partial Bitcoins. Yeah, I know. Girl, let me tell you, you don't understand how blood pressure is just waiting at the door to come and get you. But I'll definitely look into it. I'll definitely look into it. I do know a very good friend of ours, actually, it's my husband's family, that was heavy on Bitcoin. I wonder how, I don't know if it was Bitcoin or crypto or both. So I wonder what he's thinking about it too. But that's good information. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. A lot of these assets can be brought like fractional. You can have a fraction of it. Yeah. Yeah, that I know. Even in the stock market is the same thing. Some you can buy like if you're a dividend investor, you can buy fractional shares just to say reinvest your dividends and you get like fractions. I've seen that. Yeah. Awesome. That's good conversation. Anything about money, anything that's going to propel somebody to the next level. I like it. That's wonderful. That's a really, really strong industry to be in and to understand and to understand. That's a good industry. That's a very good industry. I dab around with it a little bit. I do enjoy seeing the ups and downs of it and keeping up with the knowledge of it, but I'm not as deep as I can see you are. No, I'm not as deep as that. But that's good. That's a really strong industry to be in. It rewards people very well, especially if you're an educator in that space, which I think you should be. If you're not, you can enlighten people so much with these kinds of things. Do you have a YouTube channel or something? This is the kind of stuff you should be talking about because I've learned something. If I didn't know, if I was like green, there's a lot of things that I would have picked up from this. So you know the deep, heavy stuff, and then you get maybe tripped out with the small stuff of budgeting and all of this other stuff. But you're in a good space. You're in a good space. Keep up the good work. Awesome. Yeah, and to be able to understand all of these things at such a young age, what a excellent edge you have. That's an edge for most people. You said your coworkers feel the same. Wonderful. Brilliant. You should. You should. Just from what we're talking about right now, I can see a lot of people you serving a lot of people. You have information that a lot of us need, and also enlightening to have this kind of perspective from such a young age. Although I know that you guys, the Gen Zs, you're very knowledgeable when it comes to a lot of these things. So you can definitely start a YouTube channel and start talking about this kind of stuff. It's amazing. Yeah. So do you trade? Because anybody who's talking about technical analysis, I'm always like, oh, you're a day trader. Because I find like that's all they talk about, that kind of stuff. My husband is big on this stuff too. And watching the candlesticks, do you do that? Yeah, I do. Okay, there you go. Awesome. I figured, yeah, that kind of language, technical analysis, and Fibonacci, and what is the other one? Moving averages. I know a little bit about that. NASDAQ, NASDAQ, and John Dow. Is it Joe Dow? John Dow? Whatever the thing is. Yeah. So you know all that stuff about S&P 500s and stuff. Yeah, for sure. I think you should be. See, Dow Jones, John Dow. Anyway, we are learning. Yeah, I have a little bit of an idea of what this is. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You can do well for yourself with this kind of information, for real. I know there's a lot out there. There's a lot of people talking about, and sometimes they inflate it too much to the point where you start to think like, is this even real? Is this even real, or just people flossing and pretending to be making money when they're not? But I do believe there's money in the stock market because I have a little bit of stock and I can feel, okay, it's going somewhere, which is good. But even with this day trading, I find sometimes it's good to have some investment that are locked away somewhere that you don't have to day trade. I know people who day trade on their TSFAs and RSPs accounts, personally day trading, but I would put some money away because it can be very risky. And sometimes the markets can just do a number. Trump can just cough, and the next thing you know, everything is bust. So you don't want everything in there. It's a process for sure. It's a process, up and down, up and down. I've seen people really do well for themselves, and then I've seen people do miserable. There's a young lady, actually, I think she lives in Vancouver. She's a Chinese origin. Yeah, I know. You know Trump. Hey, that man has power. So she's a day trading girl in Vancouver, and she's young. She's probably 27, 28, and she's doing really she's doing really well for herself with day trading. So I know it's something that can work if you know how to work it, and you have assets that you can actually tuck away somewhere. Even like diversify. Yes, be a day trader, but also think about real estate, think about angel investing, think about like these are the other options that you have that you can accumulate assets. I think it's doable, especially in such a young age. Yeah. Yeah, you know Trump has power. There are things he does and the world shakes. So then stock market is one of them. I actually have I think he had a coin, Dogecoin or something. I bought some Dogecoins or whatever that is. I can't remember what it is, but it's doing so bad. Like it's just keeping my money there. Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. Because there was also another lady, like, don't even. It's been a while. But it didn't work out. It was just a hype because he's the president. He's going to make it go up so that people can buy. No, it didn't work out. So we'll see. Yeah, it didn't work out. Yeah. I was going to say something. Yeah, you need a lot of money. One of the ladies that I follow, she actually was posting about dividend assets. I mean, dividend stocks and how much she's making per month. For her to make $1,000 a month, just doing the math, you would need about 300,000 Canadian in your investment account to be able to make that $1,000 a month. So if you're looking to be making $10,000 a month for passive income, you will need a whole lot of money to make that happen. So I do understand. There's a lot of I do understand. Yeah, it takes. Yeah, start small. You have time, young lady. You have time. You have time. You have time. That's the beauty of it. And if you start just putting a little bit of time, and don't despise the small ones as well. If you know what you're doing, or you can have that whole $50 go. If you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you can actually make a lot of money. I've seen like that young lady I'm telling you from Vancouver. She makes a whole lot of money. She's on private first class business tickets here. She's going here, she's going there, and she's showing you everything that she's doing. I'm like, yeah, I can see that happening. I can see how you can do it. And I'm happy for people who are already starting to learn, because it takes time to learn. And when you started at a young age, what is her name? Her name is she's young. She's let me see if I can find it. Trading lady in Vancouver. Her name is let me try and just do day trading. Let me see if she'll come up if I do day trading. There's one, I think, in Toronto. She's Humble Trader. I don't know if you follow Humble Trader. Humble Trader is one of them. She's also, oh, here she is. What is your name, young lady? Let me see.
Here's what I spend in a month as a day.
Actually, in Bali for a week to see what is your name?
Lifestyle is all about. I bought a 3-bedroom villa in Canggu for about. Here's what I spend in a month as a day trader living in Sydney, Australia. My Airbnb was $3,000.
Chloe Trades. CHLOE Trades. That's her YouTube channel. Chloe Trades, and then the other one is Humble Trader. Humble, like to be humble, but with a D at the end. Humble Trader. Yeah, look into her. She's in her 20s and doing well for herself. She lives everywhere. She's in Toronto. She's in Australia for like a month. Then she's in Bali for like 2 months. She's living the life. Her background in she has background in, I don't know whether it's IT or engineering or something. So she had to make this work because she didn't like her job. And that story really got me excited. I was like, oh my goodness, look at people just breaking the norm, because your parents expect you, because you're this, you have to be this. But she's, yeah. I'm telling you, she's doing it. She's doing it and she's quite young, and she's not braggadocious. Like, she's not there showing you Bentleys and Rolexes and what. I think the biggest thing I've seen her do is just fly first class with her grandmother to Dubai or something like that. Like something very, very normal and very noble. She's very, I like her. I watch her sometimes just to get her story. There is no way I'll be day trading in this lifetime. I don't think I will, but I enjoy when I see young people doing well. I really do. Because I know the future. You are our children, and if we know our children are doing good, it gives us peace of mind. So when I see 25, 26-year-old, I support them. I'm in their comments. Yes, girl, go do it. Like I'm that mom. I don't have daughters. I only have sons. But if I had a daughter, I would clone myself to her so she can have that speediness. Yeah, she's.
I know it's really hard to find time to trade when you work a 9 to 5, but
and she started trading as a 9 to 5. She was an engineer, saved her money, and then started trading. So she already had a good income when she started trading, which is good. And then just from there, it was go. It was go. There's some videos where she's crying because she lost a lot of money or she thought it wouldn't work. And then finally she made it. So it makes me so happy when I see her flying all over the world and just doing her thing. It's such a wonderful thing to see when people succeed. I love it. That's a very, very good job. That's a very good money, number one. Number two, the skill is amazing. In the sense that if you decide, I am going to take a break for 6 months and focus on trading, you can do that. And then after 6 months, come back and get a job as a forklift driver. They need you guys everywhere. That's a good trade. That's a really, really, let me tell you, I'm speaking life into you. In the name of, I'm a believer, so I'm going to speak life. And I'm saying, whatever your dreams are, may they come true. May they come true. May you get the courage to do the things that you're wanting to do. May you get the voice to speak. May your mind be sharp. May your heart be discerning. I speak power in your life. You will do great things. You'll do great things. Yeah, you have it figured out. You just don't know that you have it figured out. Ooh, my son is over here. Hi, son. How are you? Yeah. You will do great things. You will do great things. Go conquer the world. You already got it. You've already started. You're doing it. Go do it. You're good. Awesome. Hi, Zaya. How are you? My son is here. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. Yeah. So we're getting top of the hour. Great, no problem. All right. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. I was just doing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining, Zia. Yeah, you'll do big things. Go conquer the world. Mhm. Okay. Alrighty. I am coming up to an hour. I don't want to hold you guys too much longer, but this conversation was very insightful. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please consider starting a YouTube channel. I think you have a wealth of information that you can help a lot of people with, especially in your generation, and even as the oldies, we still can hear. We listen to you guys, oh. We listen, especially on YouTube. You see, I know about Chloe, I know about Humble Trader. All those are my children. They don't have my genes, but they're my children. They are my children. So even you, I wanted to ask you to do the same. Yeah, get up and move, get up and move. Okay, yeah, it was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining. I really, really appreciate that. And go conquer the world. You have it. You have everything it takes. Don't let anybody tell you different. You got it. Go show them. Go show them. Go get them. All right. Okay, thank you so much for watching again and being here. I'll see you later. Bye, Zay. I'll call you later. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging. Thank you for hanging with me. Bye. This is always funny when I'm trying to log out. I can't. Let's see. Is it here? Let's go. Nope. All right. See you later. Let me see. I think it's here.